When you make decisions, do you start with your limitations or your objectives? Do you first look around and see what kind of resources do you have and what limitations do you have and then make a decision? Or you start by thinking about the overall objectives that you are pursuing in life. This video is a quick video on the difference between tactics and strategy. We hear the word strategy all the time, but a lot of us don't know what it means and what's the difference between tactical victories and strategic victories. Remember, strategy is about the end goal. What is it that we want? What is it we want to pursue? And tactics is about the methods and means of achieving that goal. Often we get caught into the trap of tactical victories. Part of that is because tactics are naturally seductive. They offer quick wins, visible results, immediate satisfaction. I can blow up things. Imagine I have a good army and I can blow up things, or I can kill certain, officers, or you know, make some victories in the battlefield. But is that a strategic victory? That's the question you should be asking. Because ultimately, there is a war and there is battles. You might, as they say, you might win battles, but you might lose the war. And even let's go one step beyond that. What's the purpose of winning the war, right? That's the question, type of questions you would like to ask yourself. So, tactics without strategy is one of the most common and most fatal patterns in politics and in war. As a matter of fact, nowadays, because of social media, this focus on tactical victories, this videos or posts or showing some bridge blows up, some, things get shut down. These things have a way of attracting attentions. And if you're a decision maker, you might find these things as replace them as victory, as that's something you're winning the war. But that's not always the case. You always have to ask yourself, so what? What was the objective? What was it that we were trying to achieve? So, in this context, you should always ask yourself, what is the strategic thinking? Strategic thinking is about making decisions in light of limitations and ambiguity. Um, in other words, it's finding the forest amongst the trees. If you are looking ahead and only see trees, and maybe you have some plans for the trees ahead and things you want to do, you are a tactical thinker. But if you can see the forest and can connect the higher ground and higher vision of how do I want to use all these tactical victories or tactical thinking into a broader strategy, then you become a strategic thinker. The more we think about strategy, the more we are going to train our brain to look at the bigger picture, right? Even in life, you might say, well, I want to go to school, get good education, get a job, get a family. Okay, all tactical victories, all laudable. But what is your purpose in life? What is your strategy? What is your strategic thinking? Is it happiness? Is it getting closer to some higher being? Or what is it that we want among with these tactical victories in life? So, so, so it's true for geopolitics. The question you should always ask yourself is, well, we have these tactical wins, but how do we tie them together? As a matter of fact, strategic thinking is also very complicated because it's not like, recipe for a food in the kitchen. We have the recipe, you can make pasta or make some other dish. But the problem with strategic thinking is a lot of times there's ambiguity involved, and in part because of you don't know, because of what's unknown about the other side's reaction. You can plan a few things, but you don't know how it's going to play out in the battlefield and against your adversary. And what is it that they are going to do? So you have to always be on your feet, deciding about the next step, right? And you always have to have that bigger picture in mind. As like a lawyer go to a court, right? You have some arguments you want to make. You start making arguments. The other side come up with some other arguments, and then you caught flat-footed because you don't know what to respond, right? You always have to be on your feet, be able to respond. That's also important in the strategic thinking because it is a decision making in the most complex form in the most ambiguous environment. And the more we train our brain in understanding strategic thinking, the more we approach the higher way of thought and thinking. Thank you. Bye bye.